What's up, everybody? It's JT Sports, back to you guys with another video. And I'm here with my Cincinnati Bengals versus Seattle Seahawks preview and prediction. I'm going to be previewing this matchup and giving my prediction of who will win this game. Now, before I begin, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Upload NFL videos and NFL content daily. So, Cincinnati versus the Seattle Seahawks. The Cincinnati Bengals are a very intriguing team because they have some good spots and they have some bad spots. And I think they can end up going 6-10, or they can end up going 9-7 and making it into the playoffs. And the thing with the Cincinnati Bengals is, over the last couple of years, is they struggle to stay healthy. Last year, they suffered the injury bug really bad. I mean, at one point they were 4-0. Then after that, it just fell apart. Players started dropping like flies, left and right, and things like that, and ended up missing the playoffs. And Andy Dalton ended up getting injured. And the thing about Andy Dalton last season is, a lot of people don't want to give Andy Dalton the credit he really deserved last year. Andy Dalton was on pace to have one of his best seasons last year before he got injured. People don't want to admit it. People just want to trash Andy Dalton, call him a garbage quarterback and things like that. But last year, Andy Dalton was on pace for throwing 30 touchdowns and having one of his best seasons of his career last season before he got injured. So, Andy Dalton isn't a bad quarterback in my opinion. You can win games with Andy Dalton. You can get to the playoffs with Andy Dalton. You don't have to have an elite quarterback to win the Super Bowl. But my problem isn't with the Cincinnati Bengals quarterback position, is the offensive line. And once again, they're already having injuries. Their first round offensive lineman is already out for the season, or he's already on IR. Don't know if he's even going to be able to play this season. Then you had one of the starting offensive linemen that retired some point during the offseason. So you lost two starting offensive linemen. That's two holes on the offensive line that you're going to have to figure out. So that the offensive line is concerning me. It's not absolutely garbage, but it's a question mark of concern, especially a game like this against the Seattle Seahawks, with now they have Jadeveon Clowney, which now you're going to be facing a very formidable front seven. You're going to have KJ Wright, you're going to have Bobby Wagner, you're going to have Jadeveon Clowney, and you're going to have guys, Ziggy Ansah, you're going to have guys for the Seattle Seahawks on that front seven that can get after the quarterback and cause some matchup problems for that Cincinnati Bengals offensive line. So that's the area of concern specifically in this game. Now, AJ Green, he's going to be missing a couple of weeks as well. And I'm not really that much concerned because Tyler Boyd, to me, had a very solid season last year. I thought if the NFL had a Most Improved Player award, he probably would have ended up winning it last year because he had a very solid season. I thought he should have made the Pro Bowl. And their defense is pretty solid if you're able to get over the fact that they probably have one of the worst linebacking units in the NFL, because last year their linebacking core was absolutely garbage. They literally had the worst linebacking position in all of football. I mean, it was terrible. So the Seattle Seahawks, on the other hand, was a team that a lot of people last season, including myself, didn't expect to make it to the playoffs. We thought they were in complete rebuild mode. What did they do? They end up making it to the playoffs and proving everybody wrong. So this Seattle Seahawks team, they're very good on the defensive side of the ball. The front seven is going to be very good. And this front seven can really cause some matchup problems, like I said earlier, for the Cincinnati Bengals offensive line if Cincinnati isn't able to figure it out. So for the Seattle Seahawks on the offensive side of the ball, I think this game might be a little bit low scoring because on the offensive side of the ball, you have Tyler Lockett, you lost Doug Baldwin, your best wide receiver, and you're going to have DK Metcalf and a whole young group of wide receivers, really. Now, Tyler Lockett is really solid. I think Tyler Lockett is going to be in for a very good season. I think he's probably going to end up going over 1,000 yards. DK Metcalf, I don't know, because it normally takes rookie wide receivers a couple of weeks to get acclimated into the NFL and for them to really start going off. So I'm not really expecting DK Metcalf to really go off until the midway point of the NFL season. I'm not saying that because I don't like DK Metcalf. I love DK Metcalf. It's just that we've seen this trend over the last couple of years of how rookie seasons struggle the first couple of weeks, and then after week 8 is when they start getting more comfortable and start making a lot of big plays in the passing game. So this Cincinnati Bengals secondary, believe it or not, Pro Football Focus rated them top 10. They had rated them with a top 10 grade for secondaries in the NFL. And I think the Cincinnati Bengals do have a pretty good secondary. My guy Jesse Bates, he's one of my favorite safeties in the NFL, had a very good year last year. So, I mean, this Cincinnati Bengals secondary, they should be able to have a very okay game versus the Seattle Seahawks receiving core. Since it's young, you're only going to have Tyler Lockett to look out for, and DK Metcalf. I don't know, man. It's just that over the last couple of seasons, rookie wide receivers normally don't start going off until the midway point of the NFL season. So this Cincinnati Bengals secondary versus this Seattle Seahawks wide receiving core is going to be interesting to watch. And then the defensive line for Cincinnati is also very good as well. You got Geno Atkins and you got Carlos Dunlap there. And they're very Sam Hubbard. It's a very solid defensive line. So, I mean, getting into my keys to the game, what each of these teams needs to do in order to have a chance to win in this game. For the Cincinnati Bengals, they need to get the ball out quick. Their offensive line is not really that good, and Andy Dalton isn't really going to have a lot of time to sit back there and throw and make decisions with this defensive line of the Seattle Seahawks. So with Andy Dalton and head coach Zach Taylor, they're going to have to get the ball out quick, get the ball out to these receivers really fast on slant routes, flat routes, curl routes. They're going to have to find ways to get the ball out of Andy Dalton's hands really fast, because the Cincinnati Bengals offensive line, I don't think they're going to be able to hold up that long against the Seattle Seahawks defensive line. So Andy Dalton needs to get the ball out quick. He needs to get the ball out really fast, and he needs to be really efficient in this game. And his accuracy really has to be on point in this game, because this Seattle Seahawks defensive line and front seven is the strength of their team, and you cannot hold the ball long versus it. And then the next thing they need to do, they need to be able to feed Joe Mixon. Now, Joe Mixon, to me, is their best player that they have on the offensive side of the ball until A.J. Green comes back. So you're going to have to find ways to get Joe Mixon the ball. Now, although this offensive line has holes on it, I do think that it has some strong points. So you need to go to the strongest point of the offensive line. And for the offensive line it's just one side of the offensive line that I'm not really that sold on. So you need to go ahead and just run to the strong side of that offensive line. And if the Cincinnati Bengals are able to do that, then I think they're going to be able to have success this year running the football. And in this game, you're going to have to find ways to get Joe Mixon the ball. If it's going out, having him line out wide, or throwing him the ball out of the backfield, or just handing him the football off, you got to get Joe Mixon the ball. He is your best playmaker that you have on the offense right now. So you got to find ways to get Joe Mixon the ball if they're looking to win this game. And the last thing the Cincinnati Bengals need to do, they need to be able to stop the run of Seattle. Now, the reason why I say they need to be able to stop the run, you got Rashad Penny and you got Chris Carson there. That's a very good 1-2 punch at that halfback position. Seattle was very good at running the football last season. And so this year, you want to force Seattle to have to go through the air. Now, Russell Wilson is more than capable of being able to be very good and being able to win the game through the air. But with this young receiving core of the Seattle Seahawks, that's where I kind of think Cincinnati could be able to win this game. So Cincinnati needs to force Seattle to pass the ball to these young wide receivers and try to get them to win the game through the air. Now, Russell Wilson, I'm not saying this to take shots at Russell Wilson. He is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. He can do it all. He can pass the ball. He can run the ball. I'm not saying that, but his wide receiving core is very young, and that's something that the Cincinnati Bengals secondary should be able to take advantage of. So you want Seattle to kind of rely on that passing game more than usual with those young wide receivers there. And also you do got Tyler Lockett, who can also do some damage as well. But for the most part, this is a very young wide receiving core. So if you're the Cincinnati Bengals, you want them to lean on the passing game. And also, I don't think their offensive line is quite that good when it comes to holding up and pass protection, and you got a very solid defensive line in Cincinnati who can get after the passer as well. So for Cincinnati, if they want to win the game, they have to be able to do those three things. And for the Seattle Seahawks, for them to win the game, I think they need to utilize play action. They need to use play action once they get that run game going. Use play action and try to get these linebackers, attack that linebacker core, because you use play action, I think it's going to catch a lot of these linebackers for Cincinnati Bengals slipping, because these Cincinnati Bengals linebackers are not really that good. They had very awful seasons last year. I don't care what anybody says. A lot of these linebackers, according to Pro Football Focus, were god-awful. Some of these linebackers were ranked like 74th worst, 90th worst. I mean, these linebackers were absolutely terrible, and they didn't really do that much to improve it in the free agency. That's really giving me confidence. So I still think the linebacker position is still going to be the weakness of this defense. So if you're the Seattle Seahawks, you want to attack that, and I think the best way to attack that, other than running the football, is through play action. So get in play action. You're going to catch a lot of people by surprise and things like that. And I do think they're going to be able to have success if they're able to get that play action pass game going. And also, they need to get pressure on Andy Dalton. And like I said earlier, this Cincinnati Bengals offensive line has lost 2 starters, so they're not really that good. So if you're the Cincinnati Bengals, you want to get your Davion Clowney, you want to get Ziggy Ansah, whoever you have playing on that side of the ball, you want to get those guys teed off, you want to get those guys getting pressure on Andy Dalton and causing a lot of chaos for the Cincinnati Bengals offensive line when it comes to pass protection. So those are my keys to victory, what each of these teams need to do in order to have a chance to win in this game. So the team that I'm going with to win this game, I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks. This game is at home, and I just like the Seattle Seahawks more than I like the Cincinnati Bengals. I know the wide receiving core is young, but with Russell Wilson back there as their quarterback, he's going to make everybody on this team better. And I still think at the end of the day, I think this game is going to be very close. I think Seattle ends up winning this game 17-14. I think this game ends up being very close. And I still think, although Cincinnati is a bad team, I don't think they're a great team neither. I just think Seattle is a more complete team than what the Cincinnati Bengals are at this point in the season. And the Cincinnati Bengals still have a couple of question marks for me that haven't really been that much answered in the preseason. So I'm going to go Seattle to win this game 14-17. I think this game ends up being very close, or 17-13, a score like that. And Seattle is also at home. It's a very tough place to play up there in Seattle in that 12th man trying to win up there. So I have Seattle winning this game. So let me know if you guys think it's going to end up winning this game down in the comment section down below. Also, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more NFL videos and NFL content daily. And thanks for watching.